letter. Sorry, which letter are you looking
I can explain that San Diego is a load pocket, so to cover for all the load, we need some of it comes from import and some comes from internal generation. Import capability is limited, so we need to have certain amount of internal generation to cover for all the load. This is why this RMR requirement exists.
Letters. The letter that I was referring to as City Exhibit number 801 is the July 24 letter, which is a one-page letter. I believe the letter that's now being referred to as a January 28th letter was submitted or was sent by the Cal ISO to the mayor of Chula Vista, and that's the one that talks about two alternatives. One is with Sunrise, and the one without is that you need a lot of peakers.
Yeah, I don't think there's any inconsistency between the letters. They say the same thing.
You know, I'm looking at the July 24th letter, and I'm looking at the second paragraph in the July 24th letter. And in that paragraph, it says, and I quote, "In other words, in the event either Otay Mesa is delayed, the capacity of the project would, either Otay Mesa or the Sunrise Power Link project is delayed, the capacity of the project would contribute to meeting San Diego's local reliability requirements, provide that sufficient additional capacity were available." And that would allow the entire South Bay Power Plant to be retired.
This is correct, but if there is sufficient additional new capacity also needed, and this additional new capacity may be very high, especially if there is no Sunrise Power Link. To replace Sunrise Power Link, we will need 1,000 megawatts, because this is how much it brings to import capability.
Now, are you saying 1,000 megawatts of local generation? Is that you need 1,000 megawatts of local generation, or you need Sunrise Power Link? Is that correct?
The 1,000 megawatts, it is increased in import capability for San Diego with Sunrise Power Link.
Right.
How much power Sunrise Power Link can bring.
Right. Sunrise Power Link can bring 1,000 megawatts of generation along that transmission line. So, am I understanding what you're saying, and that it's the Cal ISO's position that you need 1,000 megawatts?
You may not need it at the beginning, it depends on what year, because this power is needed to cover for load, and load grows every year. So we may have sufficient capacity for like first several years, but then we still need something. And it depends on load forecast.
Clarify that the addition of additional megawatts, such as those proposed by this project, would contribute to the removal of the RMR. Is that correct?
It will contribute, but it will not replace the whole South Bay.
Correct. Okay, thank you.
Sorry, I'm just getting one last question. This is Kevin Bundy with the Environmental Health Coalition. Does the additional generation provided by a peaker plant have to be in the same location as the plant that it's replacing in order to contribute reliability, in order to offset some of what's being provided by the existing South Bay plant?
No, not necessarily. What we are talking about now is total generation which is required, but there may still be some local requirements or some transmission upgrades which might be needed if it is in a different location. But it is not necessarily that it has to be in the same location.
Okay, thank you.
As long as it is in San Diego.